Hey guys, I've been checking out a lot of videos about Switzerland and it continues, okay? It continues. Today we're checking out a video titled How Switzerland Became Unconquerable. I don't know, but in the previous video I learned Switzerland was extremely neutral. How do you do that when you're surrounded by Austria, Germany, France? I don't really know, but it's cool. That's what I will say. It's cool. But without further ado, let's check out this video. Thank you for watching. If you have any recommendations, please do leave those in the comment section or click that link in the pinned comment section. You can recommend videos and I'll check them out as soon as possible. But for now, let's check out this video.
Switzerland is the most unconquerable country on Earth. And this isn't a new thing, it's been this way for centuries. No one has even dared to try for a very long time. Not even Hitler wanted to try. And knowing what I know now.
What? Is you trying to tell me big boy Hitler ain't even tried it? That's crazy. 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 I'm not gonna stop saying that's crazy. That's crazy. That is crazy. Dude wanted to take over everything, so how you ain't Whew.
I completely understand this reluctance to invade Switzerland. It's not that they'll get angry per se, it's more so the fact that if anyone chooses to go to war with Switzerland, they'll have to deal with bombs. And no, I don't mean the Swiss-German language, that is the equivalent of an atomic bomb for your ears.
Viele liebe Grüße aus Zürich, der Schweiz.
I mean real bombs, but they won't be pointed at the enemy though. Instead, the Swiss will target themselves with these bombs.
Kamikaze?
Now, obviously they won't bomb their own cities where people live. Instead, they'll bomb their marvelous infrastructure. Roads, bridges, tunnels, you name it. Switzerland has TNT, explosives and...
Dude, what the frick, dude? I checked out a video before and it had some insane trains going through the mountains and shit. But what is
bridges,
this?
Tunnels...
What is that? What is that? What the hell is that? Yo, infrastructure. You got it. You got it.
You name it. Switzerland has TNT, explosives and bombs in any and all of the infrastructure that leads into the country. Which might sound insane, and it is. But Switzerland is serious about staying out of conflicts. And since there are only a few ways you can get into Switzerland by land, as a result of the mountains surrounding the majority of the country, the Swiss saw this as a golden opportunity to create what they saw as a necessary defense mechanism in order to keep Hitler out. And keep him out they did. But part of the reason why Switzerland never got conquered by big European superpowers back when they were expanding right at their doorstep is that those same European superpowers decided it would probably be a good idea to have a buffer zone between them. Switzerland became that buffer zone. And since then they've been a neutral power in the center of Europe. By neutral, I of course mean insanely neutral. They aren't part of NATO or the EU. And they only became part of the UN 19 years ago. They don't send their troops to fight in any wars.
Now this is a country you want to live in. Whoo, they prioritize their citizens. They love their people. They love their people. Come on now, this is where you dude, let me try to get my English back together. Listen. This is absolutely where you'd want to live, okay? Because come on, dude, like, why would I want to live into a country where we send our troops to go fight somewhere else when there's another alternative? Protect the land and stay locked in and just we staying safe. You know, somebody invade, we just break that. They can't. Come on, man. Like this right here is the solution to war. This right here.
Even though they're actually really good at fighting, as we can see from their history. Back in the day, other European nations would actually hire Swiss men to fight for them in wars. But they put an end to that when they lost a big war to France a few hundred years ago. These days, Switzerland doesn't fight. Yet still, they can raise an army of 800,000 almost instantly. And even though they are unlikely to ever fight in any wars, the Swiss army is, to say it mildly, pretty remarkable. You know, there is a saying, Switzerland does not have an army. Switzerland is an army, which refers to the fact that it has compulsory military service for all Swiss men. But that's not even the crazy part. Everyone that's been in that mandatory military service up until 2007 has kept all their equipment. Everyone, and I mean everyone, kept their uniform, assault rifles and ammunition. So that if a war were to start, they would be able to instantly jump into their military uniform at home, put their assault rifle on the back and go straight to the action. In a way, it's insanely genius, but mostly it's just insane. And the insanity doesn't stop there. Have you ever wondered what the Swiss might be hiding in the mountains? It could be gold or money, which they are probably hiding some of in there. But somewhere in Switzerland, inside of a mountain, there is a secret airbase in which multiple FA-18 Hornets sit ready to take action. Just imagine a Swiss Air Force pilot firing up the engines of an FA-18 Hornet behind camouflaged doors inside a mountain, getting ready to take off and make a surprise attack on an unsuspecting enemy that could be on his way to bombing Switzerland right now. But little does he know, behind him a fighter jet just got released from the inside of a mountain to take him down. I don't know, it just seems like something out of a James Bond movie to me. And since it's highly classified information, where exactly this base is located, chances are enemies wouldn't notice before it's too late. We actually only know of this airbase's existence because Swiss soldiers have occasionally referred to it on social media, but they've always been requested to delete their mention of the airbase promptly after. And as a senior Swiss officer has said, the name and location of the base are highly classified information. But knowing the Swiss, I'm not so concerned about where it is, more so how many there are, as there's...
Exactly. What was it playing chess, bro? Like, come on, man. They smart, and I like it.
Probably more than one. What there's definitely more than one of are bunkers. You see, back when Hitler was taking over most of Europe, the Swiss realized they had to have a place they could retreat to in case Hitler did choose to invade. And since most of the population lives in flat and easily maneuverable terrain, which is a bad thing in war times by the way, they went to the mountains to build bunkers and tunnels. And while these tunnels obviously never got used for what they were intended for, they are now used for anything from aging rooms for cheese to hotels and high-tech server vaults where you can store information that requires that extra level of security, I guess. But bunkers aren't just limited to the Swiss Alps. You see, for a long time in Switzerland, it was required by law that when you build a house, it had to have a bunker that could fit all the people living in that house. Nowadays, the law has been changed a bit, and it states that every inhabitant must have a protected place that can be reached quickly from that person's place of residence. So basically, you either need to install a nuke-proof bunker in your basement, or you have to pay for access to a community bunker and have a designated place in one of those. What's
that makes sense. It makes sense.
Curious though is that since these bunkers haven't been used and probably never will get used, the Swiss typically just use them as storage rooms, you know, to make sure your wine is safe in the off chance that a nuclear bomb decides to hit your country, or if enemy tanks come knocking at the door. Tanks, as if those could even get anywhere close to Swiss soil. Don't you think the Swiss have already thought of that? Well, of course they have. You remember the explosives from earlier, right? You know, the ones they put in place to destroy all routes going into Switzerland if necessary? Yeah, those ones. If enemy tanks get past that, then first of all, well done. And second of all, you now have to deal with these. They are called tank traps. You heard me right, tank.
Yeah, you're not getting out of that. You're not getting out of this with a tank. Like, no. Like, absolutely not. Like, first of all, the thing about a tanker is it's not going to hit it away. It's going to try to climb over it, which is going to freaking make it unbalanced. You're not getting over that. That's facts. You're not. Absolutely not.
Traps. These are long lines of giant concrete blocks specifically designed to block out tanks. And if you go to the French-speaking region, Suisse-Romand, along the Swiss side of the lake between Geneva and Lausanne, you'll find these lines of tank traps that stretch all the way from the lakeside into the mountains. And do you see these houses? They're actually bunkers, disguised as houses. And here, the Swiss hid cannons they could use when the tanks tried to go over the tank traps. But the cannons wouldn't be pointed at the tank directly though. Instead, they would be aimed at the belly of the tank where there was little armor. It's genius, but also quite terrifying. Although I do find this one instance where Switzerland threatened Germany a tad more terrifying. You see, this river is called the Rhine. The head of this river is right here within Switzerland's borders, and it runs through a large part of Western Germany and eventually ends up here in the Netherlands. What's terrifying is that Switzerland threatened to poison the Rhine and in turn all of Germany's water if they invaded. A little aggressive Switzerland, I gotta say, but fair play. Now obviously this never happened, at least on purpose. You see, Switzerland did actually poison the Rhine in the 1980s, but that was considered an accident. But ultimately it shows the Swiss commitment to keep enemies from even thinking about invading their country. What is weird though is that Hitler actually did have a very detailed plan to invade Switzerland, and while he saw it as a challenge, it could certainly be done. So why didn't he? Well, it's quite a complex topic, and the Swiss as well as historians don't completely agree on why Hitler didn't attack them. Some strongly believe that it was the strong Swiss military and the Réduit strategy in the Alps that saved them. Others say it was the cooperation with Nazi Germany, as it's likely the Nazis preferred to bank with them, so they just let them stay neutral because of it. Historians say that both were needed, and that another important reason was that Germany had a hard time in Russia. Germany could have easily invaded Switzerland, but it would have cost them too many resources, which Germany just...
Yeah, because the reality is like, it's not like you cannot totally defeat a country. You can, because if you nuke them, if you just drop continuous bombs on them like over and over and over and over, let's say you're a superpower, you can actually do that, right? But you're gonna have a lot of casualties and you're gonna have a flat piece of land left, right? Which technically I don't know if that's what your aim would be. I don't know, but it is possible obviously, but at what cost?
Couldn't afford to lose at this time, because their Russian expedition had bad luck. The cooperation with Switzerland also proved quite useful to the Germans, as Switzerland had to deliver resources on credit to Germany, which they obviously didn't need to pay for upfront, as part of a contract. Additionally, Germany could sell their gold to the Swiss National Bank in exchange for foreign currencies, without proving its origin. This way they could sell gold they had stolen from countries they had invaded. In return for this, Switzerland could stay out of the war and continue trading with allies for food and coal, which they really needed. Now, since the war ended, these things have shown to be quite controversial. I don't personally have an opinion on this, but had Switzerland not done these things, they wouldn't have been the neutral nation we know them as today. So, the continuancy of Swiss independence and neutrality is a result of many different factors, but
simply playing smart, that's it.
Above all, the Swiss made sure that none of the parties in a war would benefit from attacking them, and that's the mentality they've kept to this day. Although they aren't as insane about it as they were back then. For example, the Swiss military said in 2014 that they had removed all bombs and explosives from their infrastructure. Well done, Switzerland, that's probably for the best. But in terms of bunkers and tank traps, they are all still here, because might as well be, right? You never know when those could become useful. But all in all, Switzerland remains the most unconquerable country on Earth as a result of its continuing desire to stay neutral. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
It's really beautiful. I really do hope that, it stays this way, because it's hard to be neutral. It's hard to be neutral because, everybody want to fight. Everybody want to conquer. Well, not everybody, but a lot of countries want to do that. So it's hard to stay neutral. So hats off to Switzerland for actually being able to do that for such a long period of time, especially World War II. But thank you guys for watching this video. If you have any recommendations, leave those in the comment section down below. Please do like and subscribe. And click that link in the comment section. You can recommend videos. I'll check them out as soon as possible. I'm out of here. Peace.